don't think, this is my opinion, that we're so different or that people are so different, but I think that people become fixated on political situation. Israel-Palestine is often the thing that comes up, and people become fixated on this horrible political situation where there seems to be no answer and no way out. And all sides are frustrated, and people are suffering, and children are dying, and it obviously makes people hurt and enraged. But they fixate on this instead of the actual religions, and it's human nature maybe. But it's sad. Yeah. I think people also don't have access. Like how many Jewish people do I know who would go and read the Quran? Probably not that many. Or how many Muslims are actually going into the Bible itself and trying to see what the similarities are. I mean, how many have friends who are Jewish? Muhammad had a Jewish wife.
Of course.
So why is this seen as...
He had a Jewish friend. When the young boy was dying, he went there and said he wanted to see his friend. So that shows you the beauty of how they used to be. Yeah. Even in the golden days, most of the Jewish people will tell you the Muslims are looked after us. Because of the killing of Jesus, they were persecuted around Europe and other places. And they found a home with Muslims, because that's a normal thing they were doing. But one thing I have to correct is here as well. What happening in Palestine, what Jewish and Muslims are happening, is sad. But to be fair, what's happening in Syria is worse than what's happening in Palestine.
I mean, there are wars.
In Syria, Muslims are killing each other. So do you think Israel worse than that? And I said, no. So I think we have to be fair on those things. Okay, it's happening there, we don't like it, we don't like the both cases. So leave that on the side. So Jewish faith, you believe in one God, and you pray to one God, and you also bow, and you also you pray. Yes. Yeah, you pray 3 times.
So it depends again. Like this, I think is similar to Islam. We were talking about this before. Again, I don't have like a strong religious upbringing, so I can't give you a total overview. But there is a difference between whether you're an Orthodox Jew or whether you're a conservative Jew. If you're a Reform Jew. So there's all these different ways of practicing, and something that I think in Islam, especially in the current climate, that people focus on, like, what does Islam mean? What is a Muslim? Well, that really depends on where you are. You have mosques. We were just visiting this mosque where women and men pray separately, which is many mosques. Well, you go to Bosnia, I was just reading about a mosque in Bosnia where everyone prays together. Or you go to Los Angeles where women are saying, we don't want any men in our mosque. There's a mosque, it's all women. And they're saying, I'm an imam, which is like a very novel thing. So I think you can't take any of these religions and say there's like one kind of person or one type of practice. I mean, there are. I know in Islam there are like certain practices that you do, and in Judaism there are, though I think people apply them in very different ways. I think you see more of kind of an acceptance in Judaism of a cultural Jewish person who is probably practicing less. These people exist in Islam as well, certainly. They're not as mainstream. But I think instead of focusing on all of, like, there's this tendency to either focus on difference. Everyone is different. A Jew is different from a Muslim, is different from a Christian, in a negative way. Or a tendency to want to focus on, like, this is exactly what a Jewish person is, or this is exactly what a Muslim person is, instead of just focusing on us as humans. And we all know, I don't care if you're a Jew or a Muslim or a Christian, or none of these, you could be Hindu, or you could be an atheist, what it means to be a good person and a kind person and to live ethically. And instead of focusing on these things, I think we focus on who we can fight and who we can say is, like, the enemy or wrong.